when the world feels heavy on your mind. Take a breath and let the noise unwind. This is your moment to let go. Welcome to recess for the soul.
Welcome back to Recess for the Soul. We made it, y'all. 31 days into this new year. Crazy how time flies. But before we say anything else, before we try to fix anything, and if you haven't already, before we name a goal, a problem, or a plan, I want you to just sit with yourself for a moment. Not scroll, not multitask, not plan what's next. Just sit. We don't do this enough. And that's not a judgment, it's survival, really. We've been trained to move fast, think faster, and keep going even when our soul is quietly asking for a break. Today's episode isn't about motivation. It's not about productivity either. It's not about becoming a better version of yourself. It's about being honest with the version of yourself that's already here. You know, the version of you no one asks about. Everyone asks how you're doing, but they usually mean, are you functioning? Are you still showing up? Are you still handling things? Very few people actually ask, how are you really holding up? And even fewer people ask that question and stay quiet long enough to hear the real answer. So let me ask you, and I want you to answer this honestly, even if it's only in your mind. How are you doing when no one is watching? Not the version of you at work. Not the version of you that cracks jokes. Not the version of you that keeps the peace. The version of you that's alone at night. The version of you that sighs when the door closes. Or the version of you that's tired in ways sleep doesn't fix. That version of you matters. And today, we're giving them the mic. We're going to talk about the weight you've been quietly carrying. You've been strong for a long time. Not Instagram strong or motivational quote strong. I mean the kind of strong that looks like showing up when you don't feel seen, keeping promises when you're exhausted. I think we all should learn the value of no. And being the calm one when you're actually overwhelmed. that kind of strength has weight. And the thing about weight is it doesn't disappear just because you're used to carrying it. So let me say this plainly. Just because you've handled it before doesn't mean it's light. You are allowed to admit that something is heavy, even if you're capable of lifting it. You are allowed to rest, even if you don't feel like you've earned it. Some of you listening have been surviving seasons you never fully processed. I think we all have. You moved on because you had to. You adapted because you didn't have a choice. And you stayed quiet because no one asked the right questions. But your soul remembers. And your soul is asking for a recess. So sit with yourself. Right now, if you can, place both feet on the floor. Take a slow breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. Do that one more time. Now imagine this. You're sitting across from yourself. Not the version you present to the world, but the real one. They look a little tired. They look honest. They look relieved that someone finally showed up. And they ask you one question. Why haven't you been listening to me? Don't rush to answer. Whatever comes up, guilt, sadness, confusion, even anger, let it be there. This isn't about fixing. This is about acknowledging. Because healing doesn't start with solutions. It starts with the truth. So, as I've always reminded you, you're not behind, you're becoming. Somewhere along the way, many of us started believing we were behind. Behind in life, behind in love, behind in purpose, behind in healing. But let me reframe that for you once again and say, you're not behind. You're becoming. Becoming takes time. Becoming is messy. Becoming includes pauses, detours, and quiet seasons that don't make sense until later. You are not late to your life. Honestly, you're right on time for the lesson you're learning and the person you're growing into. And I think that's a message for us all. Stop measuring your progress with someone else's ruler. Your journey requires a pace that protects your peace. And that's when we can discuss the power of doing nothing on purpose. So here's something radical. Rest is not a reward. Rest is a requirement, not burnout recovery. Not collapse rest. I mean intentional rest. The kind where you stop explaining, the kind where you stop striving, the kind where you let yourself exist without producing anything. Doing nothing on purpose. It's one of the most spiritual things you can do in a world that honestly seems to only value output. So by the time you listen to this, if all you did today was get through the day, keep yourself together, and choose not to quit, that counts. That matters. And honestly, that's enough for today. So, it's a gentle truth that you might need to hear. You don't have to have it all figured out to move forward. You don't have to be healed to be hopeful. You don't have to be fearless to be faithful. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy of peace. So if you do anything today, let today be lighter. Not because everything is resolved, but because you decided to stop carrying everything at once. One breath at a time, one honest moment at a time, one choice to be kind to yourself. So if this episode found you tired, I hope it leaves you lighter. If it found you overwhelmed, I hope it reminds you that you're not alone. And if it found you in a quiet moment, I hope you stay there a little longer. Because peace is important. Because sometimes the most productive thing you can do is pause, listen to your soul, and sit with yourself. So, as I always tell you, one thing that you leave here with is always remember today and every day, no matter what you do, remember to take a recess for your soul because it's necessary.